technology, a transponder, a clock, and other equipment to record how many miles a vehicle was driven, whether it was driven on highways or secondary roads, and even whether it was driven during peak traffic periods or off-peak hours. A similar system proposed in Massachusetts, the wire service noted, had drawn complaints from drivers who say it's an Orwellian intrusion by government into the lives of citizens. LaHood's big brother-like suggestion proved too much even for Obama, who had just pushed a $787 billion stimulus law through Congress and was preparing to launch an ambitious campaign to enact a national health program. Within 24 hours, White House spokesman Robert Gibbs told reporters the president would not back the driver tracking plan. As we shall see, however, the president would back other ideas LaHood had for controlling how people move. While a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, LaHood had served on the Appropriations Committee, the panel that decides each year how the federal government will spend trillions of dollars of other people's money. He once spoke with arresting candor about why he wanted to serve on this committee. "The reason I went on the Appropriations Committee, the reason other people go on the Appropriations Committee," he said, "is they know that it puts them in a position to know where the money is at, to know the people who are doling out the money, and to be in the room when the money is being doled out." Before Obama drafted him for his cabinet, LaHood had become one of the biggest spending Republicans on Capitol Hill. The New York Times described him as a backer of earmarks. The Associated Press called him a leader in distributing largesse. Citizens Against Government Waste awarded him its January 2009 Porker of the Month Award, and fellow Illinoisan Rahm Emanuel, who would become Obama's chief of staff, praised him for his leadership, his thoughtfulness, and his character. In LaHood's view, the transportation secretary's highest duty was not to build highways and facilitate freedom of movement, but to use government to change the way people live. Early on, he announced what he called a livability initiative and formed a partnership with the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Environmental Protection Agency, aimed at creating sustainable communities. As Ronald Utt of the Heritage Foundation observed, the partnership LaHood's department formed with HUD, together with a rhetorical attack launched by President Obama on suburban sprawl, seemed to indicate the administration's intent to re-energize and lead the left's long-standing war against America's suburbs. Utt noted that the smart growth and new urbanist movements want Americans to move into higher density developments, such as townhouses and high-rise apartment buildings, which, the anti-suburbanists contend, can be better served by public transportation, hence the commitment to transportation choice, a process whereby commuters are bribed or coerced into an inconvenient mode of transportation that most would not choose on their own, thereby freeing the hapless American people from relying on their automobiles. LaHood first described what he had in mind using benign-sounding words in testimony given to the House subcommittee that allocates gas tax money. If a large share of the traveling public could walk or bike for short trips, it is estimated that the nation could save over 1 million gallons of gas and millions of dollars in motor fuel costs per day, he said. Transit-oriented development also has the potential to contribute significantly to the revitalization of downtown districts, foster walkable neighborhoods, and offer an alternative to urban and suburban sprawl and automobile-focused commuting. The administration, he conceded, wanted to influence how people choose to travel, but their goal was to increase the independence of those who do not drive rather than limit the independence of those who do. Mixed-use neighborhoods with highly connected streets arranged in small blocks promote mobility for all users, whether they're walking, bicycling, riding transit, or driving motor vehicles, he said. Benefits include improved traffic flow, shorter trip lengths, reduced vehicle miles traveled, safer streets for pedestrians and cyclists, lower per capita greenhouse gas emissions, reduced dependence on fossil fuels, increased trip chaining, and independence for those who prefer not to or are unable to drive. A couple of months after this testimony, LaHood lunched with columnist George Will. Will discovered that the former Republican congressman had come all the way out of the closet as an advocate of